Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. So,
Good.
just a quick recap what we did yesterday. Can anyone tell?
Sir, we discussed about H patterns and associative property, non-associative property,
Okay.
gap tolerance, island detection.
Yes. Anything else?
That's
At last, we discussed something after that. After the hatches.
Dimensions.
Yeah.
dimensions.
Yeah. Dimensions we have discussed. Okay. So, let's continue now. First thing that we'll be seeing now is dimension styles. How to configure the dimension styles according to your needs. So, let's start. Okay. Let's open the same file that we have seen yesterday. Okay. So yesterday we had seen how the dimensions were looking like, but this time we are going to change the dimension style. Now I'll just create some sample dimensions over here. Okay. So this way we can have it. Now instead of using the same, okay, every time going over here, choosing linear, aligned, angular, arc length, radius, diameter, ordinate, this type everywhere, we can have a different option dimensions as well. So what we'll do first is we'll see the dimension style, and after that we'll go to this one. Okay, so we can implement the same thing. So for the dimension style, we can press D and give space. So that gives you dim style. Okay. Now over here, of course, you can use the same and modify it, but generally I'll tell you, never use whatever is by default. Always try to create your new ones, because if let's say at any point of time you think that default was perfect, you want to come back to the default things. Okay, so you can go back, or you can just duplicate again the default one. Okay, so remember this point. Whenever you're getting a chance to create something new, always try to duplicate the thing. Okay, so in Revit also or in AutoCAD also, this same rule applies. Try to create your own systems. Don't modify what is default over there. Okay, so I'll click on new over here. This will be copy of it. I'll just type Phoenix for our batch and click on continue. So we have got over here. Now let's see from first. Okay, so first is your dimension lines that we have seen as color, what colors we want, or we can have it by layers. After that, line types we can have. So if you want different line types, you can load it. Now this is all about the dimension line. Which is a dimension line we have discussed yesterday. This one is your dimension line, and these are your extension lines. After that, line weights you can decide. Extend beyond ticks and thus baseline spacing. I'll just be coming back to it. After that, we are having suppress option. What is suppress is that if you press the suppress dim line 1, you can see one side of the line is removed. You can see over here. All the things are shown in a preview over here. So if I press this, you can see over here the line. If I click over here, the second side of the dimension line is also removed. If I uncheck this, I get one side of it back again. Okay, so this way it works. That is, separation is directly removal of that line. So you can just have both the sides of the line. After that, we have extension lines. Now extension lines are this horizontal line over here or this vertical lines over here. So coming back over here, what you can do is you can go to by block option. You can decide whichever block or layer you want it in. So let's say I make this green, and for time being I make this red, just to have a proper identification. So these are in red, you are having dimension lines, and in green you are having extension lines. Now again same thing, over here we get again line types for the extension line, so for the left side and for the right side. So you can see extension line type 1, extension line 2. Okay, so you can change the line types over here. Again line weights for both the lines, and after that suppress. So if I press this, you can see the left side's lines are gone over here. Okay, so extension line 1, it is removing. Extension line 2, so you can suppress this. Suppress means removal, just understand it. After that we have extension beyond dim line. Now what is extension beyond dim line? See, this is a dimension line that you are having over here. Beyond that you can see some green line is still extending beyond the dimension line. Now if I make this 0, so you can see beyond this dimension line, that is your arrow, the line is not extending now. But if I give, let's say 500 over here, now you can see it is extending. So it's too much value, I'll just give 20 or like this value. Okay, so you can see over here beyond this point the line is more extending. So extension of the extension line beyond this dim line, that is your beyond your dimension line, so that is known as extend beyond dim line. So extend beyond dim line, so how much you want you can decide over here. By default we had 1.25, so you can see over here the small change. After that, offset from origin. Now always there should be an offset from origin. You can see this is your origin line, and your extension line starts over here. Now this should not be 0. If you make it 0, you can see it is directly joining over here. And most of the times if you keep it in the same color as your geometry, that will look as a part of geometry. So that is why you have to keep some distance over here. So let's say I keep 1.25. So you can see over here this piece. Don't worry, even if in this preview it is not visible for you, again after creation I'll show you what were the things, the same things I'll be telling you. Okay, and you can have a fixed length for extension lines. If you want this fixed length, so 1 or 1.05, you can just have whatever the value you want. So let's say I make it 2. So you can see over here. So you can have a fixed length also for extension lines, or it can be just continuing from here. I can move it, and according to that it will be changing the distance. Okay, it will be changing this distance. I'll tell you what happens. So this is about your simple lines. Okay, so I'll just click OK, and I'll explain all of these things first. So coming over here, I'll delete this.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, I had one question.
Yes, tell me.
What is the difference between annotative, ISO, and standard?
Yeah, we'll be seeing annotative property at the time of sheet creation. Annotative properties, just for time being, I'll tell you. Annotative is that the scaling part, okay? So when you're trying to represent it on the different types of sheets, we use different scales, okay? So in a single sheet, you might be showing representing one diagram as 1:20, other might be 1:100. So what happens due to this? There is a lot of difference in the text size and other things. To avoid that, we use annotative property. So annotative property is for everything. If you observe properly, annotative properties for the hatch, for the text, you are having for the dimension lines, you are having for the blocks. So there are different kinds of things for which annotative property is used. So if I go to over here hatch also, over here you have annotative as well. Most of the companies you'll be not seeing using this annotative, okay, but I will be showing you a glimpse of it, how the annotative property works. That is your annotative scheme.
And what about sir, ISO and standard? What is the difference between these two?
ISO is whatever they have given according to their standards, AutoCAD standards. So that is what we have over here as ISO.
And sir,
That's the default.
standard is also same.
Yeah, standard is some differences might be there over here, but
Hmm.
ISO is somewhat something default given by the AutoCAD itself, and the standard is also the same thing. So
Okay.
the values may be changed between ISO and standard. Values are not the same, but this is by default given by the AutoCAD.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Coming back to this, so if we are creating dimensions now, over here, sorry, not give BLI, linear, let's say, and you can see over here. Now this is your extension line, this is your dimension line, okay, and the extension line from origin means from this point, okay, this corner point we created the dimension. So from here to here is the offset from origin, and beyond dimension line means from distance from here to here is beyond dimension line, how much you want to extend. This is the things over here. Okay, simple, nothing more in that. Of course you have separation of the line, extension of the line, extension, yeah, that's it. So that is what we were talking about. After that, symbols and arrows. Now you have close filled arrows over here, you can change the arrows. So I can come over here and say architectural tick. So this is an architectural tick you are having. Okay, so architectural tick. So what happens if you change first, the second is changed, but afterwards you can change the second, first will not get changed. So one side you can just show arrow and one side you can show architectural tick, but generally this is not done this way. We just show architectural tick on both the sides or arrows on the both the sides. Now after you make this change, you can come back to lines, and over here this option extend beyond ticks is enabled now for you. Okay, so because your tick marks are created over here. Now extend beyond ticks is same as extend beyond dim lines. Extend beyond ticks is that how much dimension line should extend beyond this tick mark. So let's say I give 10 over here. So can you see it is extending beyond this? You can see this extension beyond the extension line. Okay, so that is extend beyond ticks. You can see over here, that is your extend beyond text. This option is enabled only when this is architectural text. If you have close field, you can see this option is disabled and I cannot make any changes to this. After that, leader, we'll see what is a leader. For that, what should be the arrow size and what should be the size of the arrow over here. So arrow size you can decide. If you want to change the architectural text, you can have a close field arrow and we can increase its size. So you can see over here the size being increased. So as simple as that. I'll use architectural tick. After that, center marks are there. So if you want a mark at the center over here, so if you want line marks, center marks, so you can decide and we can decide the size of it as well from here. After that, we have dimension break. Now what is a dimension break is that if your dimension is in between, so how much break you have to give for this. Okay, so dimension break size we can decide. So let's give 5 over here, I'll be showing you. After that, we have arc length symbol. So I hope you remember yesterday I had shown a semicircle symbol over the for the arc length. So that is preceding dimension text, above dimension text you can have, or you can just simply remove it. You can make it none. So depending upon you. After that, we have jog angle. For the jog radius, what type of angle you want, 90 degrees, 60 degrees, 30 degrees, you can decide from here. And the jog height factor we are having. So what should be the text height over here? You can see it is written text height. After that, we are going to text. Now in this text, we are having text styles as well. So you can see in the text styles also you are having annotative and standard. If you want to create your own text style, just click on this 3 dots over here. We come to this, say over here new, and for this I'll say sample text style. Okay, so sample text style is created. From here you can choose the font that you want. Okay, so let's say I want Calibri, I can use Calibri font. What should be the font style? Regular, italic, bold. You can choose from here. After that, you can choose the height of it, what should be the height, or you can change the height later on as well. And we have width factor. I'll be coming back to this width factor at the time of text, when you'll be creating single line text or multi-line text. I'll just show you. And if you want some angle in this, so let's say 30 degree, so you can see it is a 30-degree angle. 0, you can have 0 angle. So like this way And we can have upside down, backwards, like this type of effects as well for the text. Okay, this is a text style only that you are creating, and this text style will be used again in the dimensions. So I'll select this sample text style and close over here. Come over here, say sample text style. After that, text color, you can choose what should be the text color. So let's say I take over here yellow. And fill color. So what is a fill color is that you will be getting a color in the background. You can see this is a color in the background. That is your fill color that you can have. So I'll say none. After that, text height, what should be the text height? So this is 2.5. Let's say I want 10. You can see over here 10 size that we are having. So you can change the size of the text accordingly. As I told you, you can change later on. After that, we are having over here vertical text placement, how you want it, above, centered. So center, you can see it is placed over here on the line centered. If you want it outside, so you can have it outside. You can have it below, so below the line we can have it. Generally centered or above is preferred. Okay, so centered or above is preferred over here. Then what should be the direction? Right to left, left to right. Okay, so you can see over here right to left, but left to right is generally how we read it. After that, horizontally, how I want it. I want it at the center. I want at extension line 1. So you can see it is shifting to left side. It is shifting to right side over extension line 1. So you can see on extension line we can have the dimensions. Extension line 2 over here on the extension line. So we want it centered and offset from the dim line. So distance from the dimension line, what should be the distance of your text? So you can just decide how much you want it. So if I give, let's say 5, so you can see from the dimension line, the distance of the text is 5. So this way you can decide on your own, or you can make changes as we have seen yesterday. Okay. After that, fit, we won't be looking into this. Primary units. Now what are the units over here? Unit format. So let's say unit format for me, I want it in decimal, engineering, architectural. So you can have in feet and inches as well. I can have in decimal. In this decimal, I can have precision. What should be the precision? After point, how many numbers should be there? So I want 0.0, just one precision. And now the separator is there. Decimal separator right now is comma. I want over here dot. So I'll give this period, and you can see a dot you are getting, or you can have a space, but space does not make you understand how the dimensions is. So we'll have a period over here, that is dot. Okay, and round off, if you want to have it a round off, so if you give 0.25, above 0.25 it will be rounding off above value, below 0.25 it will be going to lower value. So if we get 16.25, it will be going to 16. And if you are having 16 point above, you are having, so let's say you are having 16.6, so it will round off to 17. So this kind of round off values we are having. Now if you want to have a prefix before the text, so let's say I give dim. So over here, again I have to go to one. Over here you can see dim 16.6. Okay, so it is a prefix that is comes before the text or the dimension. If you want it later, let's say I want to give it is, so you can see 16.6 14.41 but 60-degree this is not perfect. So generally we avoid giving prefix and suffix. Okay, you can remove the suffix for only the degrees angle as well, no problem, but you have to do it manually. Okay. After that, let's see alternate units. So let's say you want to display alternate units along with this. So along with this, I want that feet and inches to be shown. So coming over here, I'll say architectural stack. So I can see architectural over here, and precision I can have its round distance to multiplier for alternative units. So what should be the multiplying factor? So 16.6, if I want to convert, what the multiplying factor should be used. So that is the option you are getting
So
over here.
normally, so,
Yeah,
so normally we can do all these changes in basic ISO standards of AutoCAD or something.
I did not get you. Make changes in basic ISO means?
Means now you are doing all these changes. I mean, you are showing all this master.
Yeah.
We can do these changes in normal ISO AutoCAD standard also.
Yeah, you can do it, but that is why I told you not to change it, because you have to keep default as it is and create your own systems.
But basically, we use those ISO standard only to represent this dimension.
No, 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 no. It is not compulsion. There is no compulsion as such.
As per our requirements, right?
Yeah, it is as per our requirements. Companies' requirements may be different. So different companies might be having their representation of sheets in a different way. So it depends on company to company. You cannot say you have to use ISO standards only. That is why we are having the option of creating our own.
Okay.
Yes. So again, prefix and suffix you can have for this as well. So primary units we are having over here, alternate units. So let's say architectural you can have. So it can show you 5 by 8 inches over here. So this way you can have precision what you want and round off toward decision, and before primary value or after primary value you want it. So below primary value we'll have it. So below it will be, above will be in below will be in inches, feet or inches, whatever the value may be. So this is how it is created. Click on OK. So these are the customization. You can just go and check what changes are applied. Okay, I'll just simply close. Now you can see 60.7 mm to 3 by 8 inches. Okay, this way you can have it. Is that clear? So you can check your units. It's in millimeter. Any questions or any doubts? Just give me 1 second. Okay, so let's try to create dimensions with a single command. Instead of just having all these commands drop down over here and using this, we'll see with the help of single dimension command. So I'll click on over here dimension, and I'm just creating. Now first thing, I have created a linear. Okay, so this is your linear. So you can see over here. Now I want to create an align. So from this point to this point, you can see directly it is creating an align. But in this align, let's say at some point of time, I think it should be horizontal or vertical. So hold shift and you can see I'm having vertical distance. If I am moving up and down, it is having horizontal distance. But if I leave shift, it is having an aligned distance. Okay, so this way you can create in a single command. I am not changing the command over here. Okay, now let's say in this command only I want to create an arc length. Okay, so for the arc length, what you can do is you can give over here arc. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, no, not arc length. Let's give the same dimension. Hover over this and you get the arc length. Sorry, radius of it you get. And if I hover over this, you can see arc length option at the bottom. So give L space and this converts to arc length, and I can give the arc length. I can just simply delete the linears one I created, and I'll show you how the linear can be created another way. So again, I'll go to this dimension command. You can just simply hover at the center and you can create it. Hover at the center, you get a square and use that square to create dimension. Over here also come, you can see a small square and you can create it. Instead of choosing last 2 points of a line, so first point and the last point and then creating dimension, you can just come over here and hover on the square line. You can see a small square, just click and you get the line over here. Okay, now this is what was fixed length option. So in this you can see the line is continuously creating until where I stop my dimension line, but fixed length will create only that much fixed length of extension line. So that is your option of fixed length. Okay, so this is creating your radius. If you want to create anything more, you have to just hover over the circle, or let's say hover over there, not by changing any command. So again, I am using this single command, dimension. Hover over the circle. Now it is showing you the diameter. You can see the phi symbol, but I want radius, and in the command prompt you can see radius jogged angular. Just press R for radius. This is converted to radius. That's it. So you have created radius of the arc. Let's say you want to take angle distance. So what you have to do is hover over this, first click on this square, come over here, click second on this square, and your angle is created. Again, I will show you. First click, you can see a small square, click over here, directly come over here, don't click, you get second square, click on it, and you can get the angular dimension. Okay, is that clear? Now if you want ordinates, so give O ordinates, and you can just have any points ordinates. Ordinates are created over here, that is your X and Y. So this way, with a single command you can perform all the dimensions. Okay, that this dimensions all mentioned over here, this can be done with the help of single command dimension. So let's say if you want a jog radius for this, so hover over this, press J, and you are having a jog radius over here. So you can see this is a jog radius of 90 degree. Any questions in this? Yes, does anyone have any questions or any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. Now the next thing, we are having a continuous line and dimension. So I'll just open another file for it.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, my question is, while we are making any plans, please also teach us that what we should preferably keep, like where to keep the take the decimal, or where to keep architectural, like
Okay.
that way. Yeah.
What happens is that every company has their own spacings, own standards. Okay, they'll be telling you or guiding you that this things they have to use. Okay, it is not an compulsion that okay you have to use this only, and throughout India all the companies will be using this much distance only, this much text height only, this much line spacing only. This is not an compulsion that you will be seeing. Okay, every company can ask you according to their preferences, as well as when you're trying to fit on the sheet. Okay, when you're trying to fit the things on the sheet, you'll have to make certain changes for that as well. So nobody can specify what the things are going to be at the start will be same at the end as well. Okay, is that
Okay.
clear?
Okay. Okay, sir.
Yeah, so that is why we are trying to learn all the commands that is possible, so you know an overview of what the things are. So whenever the requirements are coming from your offices or your clients, you can accordingly customize it and you can just go on with it. Of course we will be seeing plans on this, a simple plan on all this we'll be seeing, as our main focus as I told you is not AutoCAD, it will be more on Revit, but we'll be seeing a basic plans and the things to do it, to have an ideology of that. Okay, so now coming over here, we have a continuous line. So for that, you can just go to annotate tab. In this, we are having over here dimensions. So continuous, that is continue, and baseline. Now let's look what is continue. So if I come over here, what you have to do is first thing is give DLI, dim linear. So from this point to this point, I have created. Now again, if you want to create it, how you will be doing it, give space, again this point to this point, and I'll be placing over here. Again the same thing, from click on this point to this point, create like this. Again this point to this point and create over here. So this is how you're going to go manually. But instead of doing all those things, we have an option called as continue. For that continue, what you have to do is give first linear. So from this point to this point I have given. After you give first, just go to over here continue, and you can see the second starts immediately. So now you have to just click one points of each end, and as it is creating dimensions for you, and the data continues. Okay, clear? If you want to go continuous in this height, let's say. So first thing, I have to create first one, that is from this point to this point, and I have done it. Okay, now just press continue, and you can see it is starting immediately from there, and I can have just continuous distances over here. So from this to this to this to this, like this way we are having it. After that, we are having a baseline spacing. Now what is a baseline spacing? Let's say you want to take heights of all these lines. Okay, that is all the lengths of this lines from exactly this bottom point. Okay, all these lines. So what is the way that you simply do is DLI, create from this point to this point, give it. After that, again give space for repeating the command, this point, and again this point we want it, right? So you can have it over here, again space, this point, and you are having like this way you're simply doing it. But instead of that, we can have is baseline spacing option. So for that also, create the first one, DLI, from this point to this point, and you're creating over here. Okay, once you created this, just come over here, drop down this and say baseline. Now it starts from this baseline, and I can just go on clicking it, escape, and you can see over here directly all the things are taken from this baseline. Now when you're giving the first one for the baseline, it is important to give this point as first, this point as second. If you give this point as first and this point as second, it will take this as a baseline. Okay, so that is important. Now you can see this baseline spacing is there, so whatever the spacings you can see between this is somewhat different. Now how to change this? So if I select this, okay, so go to dim style, this is ISO 25 being used. So what I will go, I'll do go to modify, and over here you have an option in the lines that is known as baseline spacing. Now this baseline spacing is for that part. So if I give over here 10, enter, I'll just give OK, close. Now you may say that no changes have been happening. Of course it will not happen, you'll have to create it again. This time I'll just change the baseline spacing points. I'll take this as first and this as second to show you what happens, and come over here, I'll say baseline. Now you can see baseline starts from this first point, and the distance has been increased. Now you can see the distance between two lines is 10. So this is your baseline spacing option from the dim style. Is that clear, or any questions in that?
Clear, sir.
Okay. After that, let's see text. Now over here will come, and in the annotate section you are having two types of text. Now let's try to understand what are these two types of text. One is multi-line text and one is single line text. Now I'll see. First I'll take a multi-line text. I'm creating this and I'm typing over here AutoCAD 2020. I'll press enter. Is not a beam software. This is what I have typed. Click outside and it is created over here. So you can see AutoCAD 2020 is not a beam software. Now the same thing I'll type over here, but as a single line text. So I'll click over here, single line. Over here in this you don't have to create a box, you have to specify a point. It will ask what is the height of it, so give 2.5. Rotation I don't want anything, 0, and I will start over here. The same thing I'll say over here, AutoCAD 2020, enter, is not a beam software. Okay, so I have click outside, give escape. Now over here you can observe that when I type this one multi-line text, it is and a single text. Okay, so both the lines are as a single entity, it is behaving as a single object. So you can see this is a single object. But if I go to single line text, this object is somewhat different and this is somewhat different. Okay, so in the single line text, only a single line text is created as a single entity object. So this, the next time I gave enter, it created this as a separate. So this is a separate and this one is separate. But in multi-line text, everything that you type over here, even if you type a AC, it will be a same line text. But if you type a AC over here, each line will be different entity object. Okay, is the first difference clear about the multi-line text and single line text?
Yes.
Okay. Now in the multi-line text, if you double click over here and when you go to editing, you can see the options that you get. Okay, you can make the changes in the text style over here. You can change the size, the height of it. Okay, you can change the layer of it. For particular, let's say 2020 also, if I want to make a change in the text, I can just simply change the text over here. Okay, so you can see, but this same thing does not apply to single line text. So if I double click in this, you can just make the change. Hello, I am audible.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so if you come over here, you don't get any advantages as such. You can see the windows remain the same, and even if you go and try to make change over here, you get a small ban symbol. So you cannot make any changes. Okay, can you see a small ban symbol is there? I cannot make any changes to this. And if I select this, can you see? I cannot make the changes once the single line text is created. But for the multi-line text, if you see, I'm just selecting this. You can see I can make the changes. If I want to increase the height for this 2020 only, let's say I want to have it 5 size, I can make the change over here. So this is the second difference. Of course, you cannot make any changes to single line text once it is created. Before only you can decide, let's say I want this annotative, a single line, and you can create it. Before only you can decide what should be the height of it. Okay. So while creating only, what I can do is single line text. I'll just remove annotative for now. Single line text, specify start point. Now it is asking me height. Let's say I give 10 height. After that, it is asking me angle. Let's say 0 only, and I can now create it. So you have to specify first only. Okay, that what size you want to create and what textile you want. You cannot make changes afterwards to this. Okay, because if you double click over here, you get a ban symbol. And you see, I cannot make any changes. But for multi-line text, you can do it. Is the second point very much clear for everyone?
So, What
Yeah.
is the purpose of using single line text? I mean, there is no advantage in using that. So where it is used?
No, when you're not going to make any changes and you feel pretty confident that okay, I will use this and there is a small text only. Okay, so you can just use single line text instead of going for multi-line text.
Okay.
And you don't want any other person to make changes to that as well, for the font style or anything, so you can use single line text at that time as well.
Okay. So it can't be changed, right? I mean, single line text, we can't change any height also, or
No, we cannot change
okay,
anything.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so if
By
I
match properties,
by match properties, I have not checked, but I don't think so we can change it because it is directly giving an ban symbol over here. So if I go over
okay,
here and you can see it is directly giving an ban symbol, so I don't think by match properties also it will work.
okay.
We can try for you, just a minute. So coming over here, match properties. So this has changed. Okay, the height and this has changed. So let's see if match properties, select source object, destination. Yeah, it's changing. The height is changing, but not the text style or anything.
Okay. Sir, I have asked you one question about the textile, means changing the textile of a complete model. Means I have a model which in which different textiles are used, but I have to combine them all. I mean, not combine, make only one.
Okay, so I told you the option of select object property. So
Sir, it
quick
was not
select.
working for me actually.
Yeah, so coming over here, you can make it quick select. Now you have to give over here what you want to choose, and if it is in entire drawing you can give entire drawing option. Now what should be the object type? So if it is a multi-line text or is it a text, so I can choose over here multi-line text or text. So I can say about it text or multi-line text. Once it is selected, what things you want over here, by which property you want to select it, by color, layer, line type, what are the common things by which you want to select it. Okay, so according to that, let's say they are having a common layer, so you can say layer equals, what is the layer? 0. Click on OK, and you can see all that text of layer 0 is selected. And just come over here and you can then make the changes directly from standard to, you can have whatever annotative, if you want to make annotative, or let's say a textile I am creating right now. uh, Height and width factor, let's say 0.5. So by just selecting this, we can make it sample text. So you can see the width factor is changed and everything is changed. Actually, you have to make a selection of all the text. But let's say you have not created any proper layers or anything. So you have to use this right click and quick select option you have to use. And you have to look for a common property which will help you to select the things.
It
Okay.
should compulsory have some common property.
Yeah, that will help you to select all the text. Okay.
By layer means by isolation we can't select all means
Yeah, you can,
by
you'll have to turn off the layers then.
okay,
If they
okay.
are in different layers, then it is
I
very
will
much
try
simple.
it again actually. Uh, Actually, I
Okay, if
tried this
doesn't
little bit.
happen, just share me the file. Okay.
Okay, sure. I will try it again and let you know.
Yeah, if it doesn't work,
Okay,
just share the file. I'll show you how to do it.
okay, okay,
Yeah. Just the problem for you is selection of all the tabs. Okay, and that can be achieved by turning on or off the layers or freezing the layers that you don't want and then making the selection. Or you can use this quick select option, and from that quick select option, you can only select the text or what you want. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. So coming over here, this is the single line text and this is a multi-line text. After that, let's see what is a width factor. So if I create a single line text over here, size is 2.5, let's say, and auto tab. Okay. So this is created. Now this is created in the width factor of 0.5, and let's say I create a standard one. So it is asking like height should be 2.5, 0, and over here AutoCAD. So this is created in the width factor of 1. I can change the width factor of this also individually. So get your properties panel, and in this we have a width factor. So you can see width factor. If I want this to be as 0.5, so you can see it has been reduced to 0.5. If you want to change for this, what is a width factor? So width factor is that how much width of the text will it be taking. So if I give di and just measure from this point to this point, what is the distance? This is approximate distance, let's say is 15. Okay, so approximate distance is 15. Now if you look for the bottom one, the approximate distance is 7. Okay, 7.25. So it is like dividing it by 0.5. Okay, so sorry, reducing it by 0.5, that is dividing 1 by 2, multiplying it 1 by 2. So 15 into 1 by 2, 7.5 around you get. So this is how you can reduce the width factor. If you give double of it, so you can give 2, whatever is 15, so it will be increased to 30, let's say. So over here di, okay, around 30. This is how it works, the width factor. Any questions or any doubts in this? Now the last point you are having over here is creating leaders. Now let's see what are leaders. For that I'll just create some geometries. So leaders are just lines, and at the end you are having some text for it. So coming to annotate, you have over here multi leaders. Okay, so I can click over here and I can just click once point, and you can see I can type a text. So let's say this is a circle. So you can see this is having an arrow that is coming over here. So this line is known as leader line. This line that is cross is known as your landing line, and this is your text. So we have created circle. Let's for the polygon and this also create the same. And let's say this is a pentagon, or you can say instead of polygon, and leader line for this. That is a rectangle. Let's now to make a configuration of this as well, you are having leader style, like you had text style, dimension styles, we are having leader style. So on this corner you have to click over here, a small arrow is there, and over here you can create. So you can have over here standard, so you can simply modify it, or you can create a new one, and you can just continue, and again changes are there. Now what is the changes? What is the maximum leader points that you can have? Let's say 2, 4, 5, 6, how many you want. First segment angle, so what should be the angle of first segment? Okay, this angle that you are having. So of course you can make it change, and you can give angles for it. So 60 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, whatever you want, or otherwise you can have any angles. If I say first segment angle, it will give only that much angle only. You can have second segment angle, so this is second segment angle. So let's say I give this first segment angle, okay, and you have to use this sample. So set current, close, and I go to leader and I try to create it. So can you see it is either creating over here horizontal, or it is going to create only in that angle degree that I provided. I cannot give any other angle. Okay, so you can see over here that specific angle only it is taking, otherwise it will create a straight line. So the specific angle only it is taking. So that is your option of first segment angle, that is 45. So let's say I make it 15. You'll understand this again. So you can see it is creating in 15 only, or 45 or 60. Okay, 15, 45, 60. Over here, this many angles only it is going to create, or otherwise it will not create. But if you uncheck that, just to show you again, I'll just simply uncheck this. Okay, and let's see, close it. You can create in any angle. 360-degree you can create in any angle. Okay, so that is the difference. Again, you are having landing settings. So this is your landing line. So automatically include landing, or it should ask you every time set landing distance. So this distance, how much might be there, so that you can give over here set landing distance. After that, leader formats is there. So type of it, so spline. So you can see this is a spline, it is not a straight line. You can have a straight line. After that, colors, you can have block by block or less. Line types, what you want. Line weights, what you want. Arrowhead, so how this arrow should be, close filled, size of that arrow, and the break size. So the distance over here that you see is known as the break size. From the text and from the line, landing line, you see is known as leader break. After that, you are having this content. So what type of text should be there? Multi-line text. Okay. After that, text options are there over here. So you can give standard text, text angles, what should be the text color. If you want it red, you can have it red over here, or by layer. If you want it, you can have it by layer. Text height, what should be there. So all these things you can change. And after that, how should be the leader connection. Now connection is between this point to this. So let's say we want vertical attachment. So you can see it is not having a horizontal attachment is coming from the side and attaching over here. Vertical attachment is in this way. Now in this vertical, you have overline and center options, underline and center. So you can see it is underlining over here and to the center. So this type of things is there. If you want a landing gap in between, so you can increase over here, so the gap will increase. So these are the things that you can customize. You can just come over here and just try different options, and you will understand it how the changes are being made. So that does not create a lot of difficulty for you, as preview is available easily. Okay, so this is how your leader line works. Now if you want some leaders with having like hexagon shapes or circle around this, so there are already some available. So press Ctrl 3, that is your tool palettes. Okay, and this tool palettes we are having by default some provided by the Autodesk. So for this, you have to come over here and press down over here. In this, we have leaders. So click on leaders. Now we have leaders that are of imperial and metric. Right now, this is a metric file. So come over here. We are having different types of. So let's say I want a leader with hexagon at the end. So I can click over here, leader hexagon. So now you can see over here, and you can just create it. And we can have over here tag number. Let's say number 2. And say okay. So you can see in this hexagon, number 2 is given. Okay, so these are the different kinds of things we can do. So let's say polygon is number 1, and we can put over here number 1. Okay,
So what
so
is the
1
shortcut
2.
of it?
Yeah,
Shortcut
shortcut for
this what you're saying now.
tool palettes, Control 3. Yeah, so from here you can get all the things. Okay, so these are blocks, and this we'll be seeing later on how these are created. Okay, at the time of creation of block. So after creation of tables, we'll be coming to the block only. Now if you want to align this properly in a single line, so you can
Can
see
you
these
please
are,
repeat how did you add numbers?
yeah, numbers. So press Control 3, you get over here this kind of thing. So these are already pre-configured settings are there. So if you want a leader with triangle at the end, so click on leader triangle. I can have this. Click over here. Second click. After third click, give space. This opens for you attributes. We'll be seeing what are attributes as well. for the sheet creation as well as block creation. So over here we are having tag number, and I can just put tag number 3 and click on OK, and you can see over here a triangle created and that 3 is written. So this is how it works. Now coming back, these are not aligned properly. So you can see circle, rectangle, pentagon is not aligned properly in a single line.
So,
Yes.
so can we adjust the sizes of that hexagon or triangle that we are making
No,
by
these are
later?
by default. That is what I told you.
Okay.
These are
Okay.
created by default. If you want to create your own, you'll have to make your own blocks, and after that we can create this.
Or what if we want to write something, means not only just a digit or alphabet, if some
So what will happen is that that text will go outside of this. Just to show you, so let's see. I take this triangle and let's say I type this only tag number and click on OK. Can you see it is going beyond this triangle?
okay, okay, it allow only one digit.
Yeah, one digit, because what happens is that every time you will be typing some different text. So it is not dynamic that it will change accordingly. The triangle size will automatically change according to your text. This dynamic thing is not created in this.
Okay, thank you.
So we were talking about the alignment of this. So to align this properly, we have over here this alignment option. So you can click on align. I can press this one, this one, this one, give space. Now I have to pick to which one it has to be aligned. It is aligned to the circle one or to the pentagon. So I'll click on pentagon, and you can see the circle and rectangle are trying to be aligned to the pentagon. So I'll hold shift, and you can see they are in a single line. So circle, rectangle, pentagon, they are all in a single line. Okay, just to repeat over here, again click on align, select the multi-line leaders. So all these leaders I am selecting. I'm giving space. Once I give space, I have to choose which one it should align. Let's say 1 and 2 should be aligned to this 3. So I'll pick this one, and now you can see 1 and 2 is trying to align itself to number 3. So these are again in a straight line. So this is alignment. Now instead of alignment, you have to combine 1 and 2 to give an arrow over here. So we have over here the option of collect. So click on this collect. I'll select the first one, I'll select the second one, I'll give space, and you can see they are being created together. So 1 and 2 are being created together, and I can just then shift wherever I want this line. If you don't want the leader over here, I can simply remove this vertex from this point, and you can see I've got this straight line that is representing 1 and 2 number to this same polygon. That is your collect option. After that, you have another option that is add leaders. So I can come over here, I can say add leaders, and I can just go on adding the leaders as I want. Okay, so this is add leaders. Now if I want to remove the leaders, click on remove leaders, select the leaders that you want to remove, and give space. So that leaders has been removed. Of course, you can use this grip points and just have the arrows change. So this is all about your leaders. So in the annotation now, tomorrow only tables part is left. So we'll be seeing the tables tomorrow, and we'll start with the block. Any questions or any doubts anyone is having?
Sir, could we change the line weight of the leader?
Yes, coming over here to the multi-line leaders, that is your leader style. Go to modify and leader format. Over here you can see the line weight. So you can see the line weight has been changed.
So, like we did the leader with a triangle. So, if I only want to highlight the triangle, would it be possible?
That depends on how you are creating a block. Okay, this is a part of a block that has been created. Now this is a block that has been created. Okay,
Okay.
so if I double click, let's see, it opens a block. This is somewhat you can see, yeah, this is a user block that is by default created. and I'm able to make the changes to this blocks because this is what is created by default given by the Autodesk. So I can make it box out of it. But over here, the landing distance is there. I cannot change the distance or the size of this box, or I cannot have any changes to this box over here. I can make changes to the lines and the leaders, but not to this box.
Okay, sir.
So in the properties, let's see if we get anything. Yeah, we are having a scaling option for that. Let's use the scaling option. You can scale this way, but it will be not exactly like you want. Okay, so scaling will scale all the sides similarly. We can have circle, detail, call out, we can have over here a triangle, but it will not scale uniformly, not like you want this side extra and this. And no, this option is available like to create the details, like we want to highlight only the triangle, that is not over here. You'll have to create it separately. So that's it for today. Let me take your attendance. Divya, Ajay,
Yes, sir.
Samir, Pavan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Samir is there. Okay.
Yes,
Asif,
sir.
Yes, sir.
Nawaz,
Yes, sir.
Nivedita, Shubham,
Yes, sir.
Giteshwari,
Present.
Aisha is there, Akash, Minu, Riyaz, Fahad,
Yes, sir.
Soleha,
Present, sir.
Soumya Devi.
Yes, sir.
So that's it. Let me make someone wait for the individual call. Just give me 1 second. Nivedita is there? No. Shubham?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Wait for the individual call. Others can leave. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.